Hi. I wanted to know how long you've lived in the area and been a part of this community, and known what's up with local politics like that. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Dan Carscallen on that.
Well, I've lived here. Like I tell people that I arrived at Gritman Medical Center in 1968. So that's how long I've been here. And as far as political involvement, I started running for council in 2003. Before that, I was Latah County zoning commissioner for a little while, and ever since then, that's what I've been doing. I've been on city council since 2007, so that kind of puts things out there. I used to be able to say that I was the youngest candidate running, but this guy over here changed that. So we'll see how things work out if I still get to be the youngest council person.
And that was Dan Carscallen, and now John Freeland.
Yes, well, I've lived in Moscow for 13 years, as I said in my opening statements, and I've been involved in local politics for, not on an official capacity, of course, as I'm just running for public office my first time here, but on a knowledge basis for many years. In terms of politics, I'll bring up my political positions. I'm on the executive committee for the Republican Party in the county. I'm very aware of what's going on the state, national, and local levels. I follow everything from the Daily News to the Statesman to all of the national news sources. My dad being an attorney, he really helped teach me from a very young age just about the importance of knowing what's going on in your community, in your state, in the world, and in coming up with solutions, ideas, to be able to solve the problems that we face. And that's something that's been very important to me and has kind of inspired me to get into politics, is just the example that I've had on the part of parents, grandparents. And so I've been very involved, and I know
Okay,
Yep.
Minute's up.
Okay.
And the next question will go to Dan Freeland first. And you mentioned legislative initiatives, so I was wondering if there are any legislative initiatives in the works that the city might endorse that would benefit either cities in general in Idaho or Moscow in particular.
Lita, do you mean Dan or me?
Wait, that would go to you first.
You want me first?
Yes.
Okay. Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Are there any legislative initiatives in the works that would benefit Moscow or cities in Idaho in general?
Well, I think having expanded the gas tax, here in Idaho we have a lot of, roads and bridges that are, in need of great repair, and I think that the legislature did the unfortunate but necessary job. We've seen gas prices come down a lot, and we were able to raise gas taxes a little bit and vehicle registration fees, and those are helping to pay for increasing the beauty of our infrastructure, the safety of our infrastructure. I think that's very important. In the upcoming session, I think a big topic might be Medicaid expansion. There could be some other ones, it being an election year. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what comes up.
All right, that was John Freeland, and now Dan Carscallen.
Yeah, of course, the raising of the fuel taxes really helps get the dollars on the roads. Everything that was raised is supposed to go to roads and streets. Of course, the percentage it weighs heavily in favor of the Idaho Transportation Department, but we still get to see something here at the local level. One of the things in the upcoming legislature, I think, that might directly affect the city is there may be some new urban renewal legislation coming out. We don't know what yet, but there's always something out there that folks don't. Some legislators don't think that the URAs are exactly fair somehow, and I'm not sure how they. It depends on how they feel about it. It just struck me funny one time. I was up in Coeur d'Alene at their urban renewal area at the old Potlatch Mill site, and I see a name on a sign for the realtor that's selling the property up there, and it was the same last name of the state legislator that was trying to get the URA legislation killed. So, against the URAs. So.
All right, that was Dan Carscallen. The phone number is 892-9200. We'll take probably a 1-minute break at the top of the hour. We've got one more question right now at 6:58. There was a hesitancy on the part of at least one city council member to approve $2.5 million in matching funds for the runway realignment project until the other entities, such as Pullman, Washington State University, and the University of Idaho, committed their shares of matching funds. What's your feeling about trusting other entities in the region to come up with their fair share on joint projects like this?
Well, you got to put the foot in the water to see how things are going to work. I think the fact that we committed helped those other people know that there is a commitment out there, and somebody's got to strike first, and it was us. If those other guys didn't jump in, then we, part of our resolution was that, we weren't going to fund it either. But again, like I said earlier, how could we say that we're a pro-business council if we didn't support the airport expansion? There's businesses that are at the airport that may not be there, airline included, if the expansion doesn't happen. So I think that, we just got to trust them. Everybody on the council, I think, did a little bit of, we worked, beat the streets and worked with the other elected officials and that, having them make sure that they put that forward, and worked with the universities as well to get that funding in place.
All right, that was Dan Carscallen. Now John Freeland.
Yes, I think the airport expansion project was necessary, and I'm glad that everything came together in a way that was feasible, and we found the money for the project through multiple sources, at least part of it so far, and more and more. The just wanting to be on the council, having a good working relationship with people in Pullman, in Whitman County, in Latah County, in the state legislatures, in our region here in the Paradise Valley and on the Palouse. We need somebody who has the ability to get along with people and can work well and come up with good common sense ideas, and who isn't afraid. I think the council did a great job in approving it, and of course there were some fears. There's always bound to be some fears in terms of will enough money come in, but indeed, thankfully, things did work out, and I'm very happy. Yes.
All right, KRFP Moscow Pullman. Do you guys want to stay here and delay the break because we got a caller on the line here?
Sure.
Okay, this will go to John Freeland first. Caller, you are on the air.
What credentials do you have that you believe qualifies you to be a public servant? Thank you.
All right, that one question.
Okay, I believe I heard the question. It blanked out a little bit on my headphones for a second there. He wanted... Did you catch the whole thing?
What qualifications do you have to be a public servant? I believe is how it was worded.
Absolutely. Well, I am very involved in terms of business, in terms of community service, in terms of politics, in terms of education. And, here in a community where we have so many young people, we need a young person who's educated and involved on all these different levels in our government to give a different perspective, fresh ideas, and who also can reach out and get involved a younger population that really is not involved on the level that I think we all agree we need to be involved in. Qualifications wise, I think that's a big thing for me, being so successful at a young age, being able to be here doing this, running for city council. One other thing I would point out is that I'm very compassionate, very understanding, and very motivated to get things done. Thank you.
And that was John Freeland, and now Dan Carscallen. Want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I think that, obviously I've served on the council for the last 8 years, and I've worked in the public sector for the last over 20 years. So, seeing it both as the boots on the ground in that job and also in the administrative side of it, I got a unique insight to, budgeting and how the tax situation works here in the state.
So we've got a caller here, and KRFP, you are on the air.
What do you think of certain churches consolidating business, real estate, and political power in Moscow, Idaho?
Okay, and that'll go to Dan Carscallen first.
Well, I don't think that we can prevent anybody from buying property, and I'm not sure that anyone is really consolidating any political power. I don't know what church everyone on the council goes to. Personally, I'm baptized Catholic, but I probably haven't been to church near enough to suit at least to suit my grandma. I know that we have a very eclectic mix on the council. We look like a bunch of old white guys up there, but there is quite really is more of a political spectrum up there than most people think, and even lifestyle spectrum, but how some of the others live is none of my business, just like how my personal life is none of theirs. And as long as we can all get together and make the city move forward, that's how we like it.
And that was Dan Carscallen. Now John Freeland.
Yes, thank you. I don't think that we need to worry too much about churches buying property or anything like that. I know there's beyond church buildings, there's several churches who own multiple other properties in town, and I really don't see it as being too big of an issue. Just I'll talk, as Dan did, just to my personal religious views. I'm a non-denominational Christian, and I attend multiple different churches in the community. I have a lot of friends in a lot of different places who I love to see and be involved with. So.
All right, and that was John Freeland. The phone number is 892-9200. The next question will go to John Freeland first. I want to talk about a little bit about the brownfields program in the city. That EPA funding for helping the city clean up brownfields has just been extended, or may soon be extended. And what's the extent of the historical pollution problems in the city?
Right. Well, we've seen a lot of contaminated sites. I know there was a study that the city did over a period of multiple years that was just completed here recently, and that was on display down in Friendship Square. And it's good that that we have government to talk about these issues and to clean up these sites so that we can build businesses after they've been cleaned up and bring in new growth, and make sure that we don't have water contamination or anything else from things seeping through the soil. We need to make sure the city's done and is doing a great job on all of this. Thank you.
And that was John Freeland, and now Dan Carscallen.
Yeah, with the history of the town being an agricultural hub back in the past, with the railroad going right through the middle of town, at the time between the U of I campus and the city, there's a lot of land there that's got some sort of contamination in it. When I was growing up, Palouse Producers was down there at Sweet Avenue, right at that entrance to the U of I, and that got all cleaned up now. And I know there was some redevelopment through there as well, that where the transit center is now, the multimodal transit center, and we're looking now at the cleaning up at the Columbia Grain site, and hopefully some sort of redevelopment there, the old Dumas Seed there. And now I haven't heard whether there was anything. I don't think it's been studied yet, but if something does come up, funds are available. The old Moscow, Idaho seed plant that's being disassembled now, and Latah County grain growers used to be right there through that area too. So, it's changing the face of our city through that railroad corridor, and that's all now the new Legacy Crossing Urban Renewal Agency. So look forward to seeing how that works out.
All right, that was Dan Carscallen. The phone number is 892-9200. The next question will go to Dan Carscallen first.